All right, let's get started. There's not many people here, but it's not really going to be a long class anyway. I just want to go over the schedule. Oh, here comes somebody. Can you see D2L?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can leave yourselves unmuted if you want. If there's not a lot of background noise, then you don't need to do it. Just some people have kids running around, and that's when it gets a little hairy. So, hi Maya, how are you?
Hello, good.
All right, so let me just kind of go over where we are in the schedule. Today would have been in real class, it would have been more or less a work day, so we're not really going to do much here today. So the thank you emails were due. Everybody that turned them in, I've graded everything that I have so far. The career exploration report is due. I'm hoping that everybody saw the that email I sent about late work. So the due dates are still in effect. And if you don't turn in something on the due date, I will put a 0 in the grade book. However, if you actually turn in the assignment, or when you turn in the assignment, I won't say if, when you turn in the assignment, I will then change the 0 into a grade without late penalty. All right, so you can still get full credit, but I really do ask that everything is within a week. Like if you start getting more than a week out, and we only have 4 weeks left in the semester, that's going to bundle everything up at the end, and it's not. I'm trying to be good for you guys, but it's also would be unfair to me if everybody submitted 2 or 3 assignments on the last day. All right. So the rule is in effect that you can only submit 1 assignment at a time within 24 hours. So kind of use that as your gauge. But if you stay no longer than a week late, except for the last paper, the final day to turn in stuff is April 30th. All right. It says no exceptions here. That was the original. There are exceptions if you are having difficulty with the presentation, and really it's just going to be a lot of work now from the end, so you shouldn't have any issues. But should there be some problems, that you have to ask me for an exception. But the last day of the semester is May 2nd. They're not extending it, so please try to shoot for the deadlines as they are, the due dates, or April 30th as being the last date. If you have computer issues, you don't have a printer, you need the school. School is open. So the open lab is open. That's the only thing that is open for students. Everything else is closed down. All of the buildings are locked. It's just the Jason Technology building. So there are students who don't have internet, or there are students who don't have computers or things like that. So the computer lab is open on campus. You can go there. They are practicing social distancing. So there's signs to go there, and there's tape along the hallway where you stand if there's a wait. And they're only allowing so many people in the computer lab at a time. Spread out, of course. They've removed everything, so people can't be sitting, we're actually going by 7 feet, not 6 feet. So it is fairly safe. And as soon as a person leaves, they wipe everything down with disinfectant and clean it. So, most of you, that's probably not an option. But if you know anybody that is having difficulties, that lab is open on campus. Everything else is virtual, and I have that link on there for advising and for the writing center and the math center and the tutoring center. Okay. So if you've turned in everything, you're pretty good. You're in a good position. I should have your research question. I think all of you have turned in your research question. I've given you feedback on that. So really, there's nothing due on Tuesday. I do want to touch base. It won't be a long class, but I would like to touch base with you just to find out how are things going. You should be, at this point, researching, and you should be slowly completing the source evaluation sheet. All right? So keep in mind, again, you have to have a minimum of 6 sources. At least 1 must come from the database. The rest can come from the internet, but it has to fit the criteria. It has to be current, relevant. The person has to have good credentials, etc. So that's really all we're doing. That's all you're doing right now is working on that. You should be working on the apostrophes, work through the grammar topic of apostrophes and the PowerPoints for apostrophes. If I haven't done it, I will upload for you guys some exercises. There are online exercises that you can kind of practice with the apostrophes, and it's self-grading, so you can see how well you're doing. I probably will have to add that. I have it on my online class, but not in this face-to-face class, but I'll bring it over. Okay. So again, nothing is due Monday. The planners, the source evaluation really is kind of due, the following Thursday. So a week from today, really. It's not a whole lot of time, but that then allows you about a week to get the paper done, and then a week to get your presentation. You can choose to do the presentation one of 2 ways. You can record it, like what I'm doing now. You can record it using Camtasia or like a free version of something, and I'll put all the links up there. Or you can present it in class live. So if you're not, there's only usually 2 or 3 people here, so it's not really that big of a deal to present live. It's easier and less of a hassle. But if you would rather go and do it through a recording, you can do that as well. That choice is up to everybody, whether they want to record it live, record it, or to do a live presentation. The presentation is based on your final paper. So everything from here on out is now dealing with the persuasive research report, that topic that you're going to write about and find arguments about. You're going to present that to the class, either through video or live. That's all the presentation is. It does have a 5-minute, I think, time limit, but we'll worry about that a little bit later because right now you're still in the process of looking for sources. Is anybody having some difficulties or need any kind of help or have questions about some of the sources or the source evaluation sheet? There is a rubric for the source evaluation. It is found under week 8 because that's when you're going to be turning it in. So you might want to have a look at that. And the actual, again, source evaluation sheet is under week 6. This sheet, this is the source evaluation. Please type it because it is a lot of information that you're going to be including on it. So you might find some sources that you think are good, and then later you realize they're not good. If you realize the source is not good, don't put it on this. All right? Take your top sources that you really think are good, because ultimately what I'm going to do is look at your source evaluation and tell you, oh yeah, that is a good source, or that's not a good source. Are there any questions? Anything I can help you guys with at the moment?
I have a question about the what is it? The career exploration.
Uh-huh.
So like in the like for the source, pretty much the BLS and then my interviewee said the same thing. So like who do I put as like the
So,
citation for that?
well, if it really is something, well, let me mute this feedback. So if it really is something that is coming out of the mouth of the person you interviewed, you want to make sure you cite them. Now you can then say something to the effect of, in addition to the interview, the Bureau of Labor Statistics also confirms that the work hours are 12-hour shifts or something to that effect. And then give a citation for that. Right, so you can do a combination of both. There should be probably some information that's different. I can't imagine that the person you interviewed was able to tell you everything that BLS tells you. But if it is similar information, you can still do that. You can say things like, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics confirmed what my interviewee told me, in that physical therapists do this, this, and this, and this. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Mason? Maybe he's not here. I don't know. Okay. All right. Anybody else have a question, Brian? You usually have a question.
I'm good. I haven't really moved on to the research report yet.
Okay.
I've got a like rough draft of the career exploration that I'm going to go over and get that turned in, and then I'm going to move on. And once I get there, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have some questions. So next class, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Maya, have you got any questions about the career exploration or the current one?
Nope, I don't have anything right now.
All right, well then, what I would say is if you haven't turned in the career exploration, please get it in. Whatever's in today, I will grade, and that goes on the midterm grade, because I have to turn my midterm grades in tomorrow. So if it isn't in today, it's officially late. I'm going to put a 0 in. So if you have an F on the midterm, don't panic. That the midterm means absolutely nothing, really. It's more for people who don't come all the time, for them to kind of have a wake-up call. But the grade will be changed once you turn in the report. And as promised, I will not take off late points, okay? So it's a 0 for now, but when you turn it in, the reason why I put a 0 in, it's easier that way. That way, one, people get notifications of the grade. That usually shocks people. If I didn't do that, no one would maybe care that much. So Taylor, you're coming here at the very end. We're almost finished. All right, so if Taylor, you can stay on and I'll go over stuff with you, or you can get the information from Mason or watch. If the rest of you don't have any questions, and I would just say, use this time, because this is your class time that was booked, to work on the career exploration report, finalize that, and if you have that done, start working on your sources for the research paper. All right. So make use of the time, because it's originally would have been booked out for you anyway. So, kind of set yourself a schedule and go, okay, this is going to be my work time now. I'll work till 12:50 and then do whatever comes next.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'll see you again next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be short as well. It's just a matter of checking up to find out where you are on the research process and what I can help you guys with.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'll see you then.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
bye. My thumbs up. Okay.